just want to announce the Brain Fog episode has been released. It's called Brain Fog, Knock Knock, Who's There? Episode 9. All right, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. If you're somebody with brain fog, you might be somebody that doesn't know they have brain fog. And you're kind of like in a daze, or you get confused easy, or when you're conversating with someone else, you kind of forget what you're saying, or maybe you forget what they said. Hi, everybody. And, you know, brain fog is a little bit more difficult on a lot of people than anybody knows. And it comes with all kinds of other conditions. So if you have a skin condition, acne, I've known a lot of people over the years with acne and some brain fog. And they're feeling kind of tired, groggy. They wake up in the morning. They feel like they can't shake the brain fog. They feel like they're not on their game, or they're wasting their energy and time. So episode 9, Brain Fog, Knock Knock, Who's There? On the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. You don't want to miss this episode. This episode is an eye-opener. It's just so you know, and it's critical to help somebody heal. There's an elixir I share for brain fog that I haven't shared before. So there's a brain fog elixir that I share on this episode that's really important to help ease that brain fog for people so they can push ahead. I know a lot of you guys want to be on your game. You guys want to have clarity. You want to be together. You want to be on it. I know a lot of people feel like they lose a day because of their brain fog, even if they don't know that's what it's called or that's what it is. They just feel kind of out of it. They feel kind of dizzy. They feel kind of spacey. They feel kind of confused. They get confused easy. You know, tasks are not easy to do. Now, all of that, and if you have something like thyroid conditions, or you got eczema, psoriasis, or something like some fibro, or you're not feeling good and you just don't feel well, and you have intestinal tract disturbances, digestive problems. I know people who have just a whole myriad of different problems and conditions, and they have the brain fog with it. So you have to check this episode out, you guys. I'm going to answer some questions too. If you have questions about brain fog too, I'm here. So and then there's triggers to brain fog. So then there's gluten. That's a major trigger for brain fog. But it's not the true cause of brain fog. That's why someone else can do all the gluten they want. They can do all the gluten they want, all the wheat gluten they want, and they don't have brain fog. But somebody else, yeah, the gluten will actually trigger their brain fog. There's a reason for that. And in this episode at Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast, I talk about that. You might want to catch this episode. It's free. The link is in the description just so you can find it. And I want to answer some questions too. Cheryl says, this show was so validating to me. So that means you've dealt with brain fog. Pamela says, hello from London. UK, hello. How are you? Maria says, that's me every day. So did you hear the episode? I talk about all the different mild to severe symptoms of brain fog. Whether, like when you're trying to communicate with somebody and you kind of forget what they just told you, but you don't want to say anything about it. But all of that. Pia says, hey, Pia, you're here today. Thank you, Anthony. I've been brain fog and I'm so tired of this feeling. Oh, my God. So you're dealing with that brain fog. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that throughout your life. Then you're dealing with it now. Chanel says, I've had brain fog since having COVID. Yes, COVID's like a trigger, you know, and that's the whole thing, too. I'm talking about that. And I'm going to talk about that another time about all that, too. But the brain fog's really difficult for so many people, and they struggle with it so badly. And I'm so sorry you guys are doing that and dealing with it. Steph says, love your meditations. Have you guys tried the Freeze the Bird meditation? Really powerful. The moon meditation, the brain meditation. So Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. That's the uncensored platform, official platform it's on. So if you listen to it at other platforms, you're not going to hear the whole thing. Pieces are going to be missing. It's just going to be problems. It has to be at Apple Podcasts. Please share the meditations, share the episode, the brain fog episode with others. So let's talk about brain fog for a minute, since you guys are dealing with it. So many of you guys are struggling with the brain fog. And Bonnie says, knock, knock, it's me. So you listened to it. And the brain fog episode, Knock Knock, Who's There, is a powerful episode to give people answers. So share it with others too. You guys are all about answers. You know what I've always known about you guys, like the medical medium community, is you guys have been there, done that. You guys are seasoned, and you know the difference between answers and no answers. And you guys have been around the block, and you guys don't mess around either. You guys don't mess around. You do stuff. You do your celery juice. You take care of yourself, and I'm so proud of you. And I always have you in mind. And with this podcast here, it's like yeah, there's a tremendous amount of work that goes involved in this podcast, the launch of this podcast, making sure you guys have these episodes, but knowing that the information is there for you guys to help you heal, it's just all that matters. It matters. It's a free resource too. There's no commercials, no infomercials, no advertisements in it. It's just a free resource that isn't like annoying. So I want you guys to check it out. Brain Fog, Knock Knock, Who's There? Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcast. The link is in the description. Check it out. I'm going to answer questions about brain fog too. Sarah Dillon, my brain fog went away after the 369 original cleanse. What a lifesaver. Big hugs. 369 cleanse is in Cleanse to Heal, you guys, right there. And you can get that book at Amazon for $16.99 in the U.S. right now. It's unbelievable, 51% off. It's a medical textbook. It's like that really is helpful for brain fog. I'm glad that the 369 really helped you out. You get it free at the library too. So great that you guys are here. Janelle says, can one really get rid of brain fog? Yes, one can get rid of brain fog. Absolutely. Because when you know what's causing it, like in the episode, check it out. The brain fog episode, Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Brain fog, Knock Knock, Who's There? When you learn what the cause is of brain fog, yeah, you can get rid of it. Definitely you can get rid of it. That's the whole point. Medical Medium healing tools are about getting rid of things, not keeping things, getting rid of things. I talk about the different variations of brain fog. So that's something that's really important, you guys. And what kind of brain fog do you have? Do you have the kind where you wake up in the morning and you're foggy headed, you're dizzy, you're not feeling that great, you're not all there? You need hours to kind of shake out of it and to kind of reboot and get out of it? Are you like a person dealing with that way? Or is your brain fog the kind of brain fog that comes and goes? It's a little bit for a couple of hours and then it's gone. Then it's a little bit for a couple of hours and then it's gone. Is that your kind of brain fog? Or are you dealing with the kind of brain fog where it's only in the morning, but it's not at night? You seem to come alive at night, okay? Like all of a sudden you're bouncing back and coming alive. Laura Carter, yep. Is brain fog the same as not having a good memory? I forgot so much even as a child. It is the same. And see, brain fog, the term brain fog is an encompass of like memory, forgetfulness, a compilation of all that combined. Anything from depersonalization, feeling focus and concentration, feeling like you're dazed, feeling like, a lot of times people get blamed for procrastinating when they have brain fog. If you just got on here, I'm talking about episode 9, Brain Fog, Knock Knock, Who's There? Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. It's free. Link is in the description. So you got to check it out. It's a free resource. It's the 9th episode of the Medical Medium Podcast, powerful information. And then you got the other episodes too. You got the chemtrails, fruit fear, got the egg episode. You can't miss that one. The caffeine episode, okay? Coffee, matcha tea, chocolate episode. That's a big deal. You got the moon meditation, the brain meditation. You got the free as a bird meditation. The link is in the description. I want to answer questions. Glad you guys are on here. And so if you don't have an Apple device, go to medicalmedium.com. Go to the menu. You'll see podcasts in the menu, and you can download it. The Apple Podcast is the place that Medical Medium Podcast is launched because these are uncensored versions. It's not like the old radio show and the other platforms. This is Medical Medium uncensored. Some of it's just really intense, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Tammy Lee, you just named all of the things I have. I need to listen. Thank you so much for doing this live. Tammy, thank you for being here, and I want to ask you this. Do you ever think that your brain fog could ever go away, or do you think you're stuck with it for life? Because I want you to know there is a way to heal. I always tell everybody you can heal. You can heal. When you know what's going on and you know why we're dealing with something, there is a way to heal. And I always want you guys to know that. I want you to know it. I want everybody to know that. It's so important. Kristen Ward says, I have acne with brain fog. Exactly. That's what happens. And what happens too is we forget it's brain fog, or we don't really know it's brain fog. And when we have these other symptoms, brain fog's with it or encompassing with it, and people don't know. It's like, yeah, brain fog. My God. So yeah, and the whole thing with acne and brain fog, you can have that. You can have eczema and brain fog. you can have these other things, but it's really important. Sophia says, major brain fog after COVID and trembling lips. Yeah, and I'm working on writing something about that and everything about COVID and all this other stuff. I'm working on putting things together so people have more information. But just so you know that it's really hard when we're dealing with brain fog with any condition we get. So anything that we get or anything that happens to us, then the brain fog just kicks up. It just kicks up. So it's important to know that there are answers out there for brain fog. Check out the podcast if you can. Medical Medium Podcast, you guys. Packed with information, line for line, to help you heal. Check out the brain fog episode, Knock Knock, Who's There? So you have a chance to heal, get your life back on track. That's what it's about. Anne Marie says, I have brain fog and it's causing anxiety. That's really difficult. Just so you know, anybody, and Anne Marie, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that and living like that. It breaks my heart because it's like, it's unfair. You know, it's unfair that we have to deal with this, but there is a way to heal. Joy McCoy says the Free as a Bird was awesome, incredible. So it speaks to you. That's amazing. I'm so happy it does. So link is in the description for the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts, the brain fog episode, Knock Knock, Who's There? And the meditations, the brain meditation, the moon meditation, the Free as a Bird meditation. So important, all of these. So Mara Ella, she was saying something there. I have terrible brain fog. Oh my God, that's awful. It's such a struggle through uni. I have hypothyroidism and I think it's getting worse. I would do anything to get help, as the gluten-free diet didn't help. I've talked about that. I actually talked about it in the brain fog episode too, about how there's all these guessing games going on. You're on a plant-based diet for 12 years. I still believe it's my thyroid. First of all, I support plant-based diets. I support also animal-based diets, but I support plant-based diets. But what I've always told everybody is, in order to heal, because people on plant-based diets and animal-based diets both get sick, and in order to heal, we need to know what's causing it. What's causing the brain fog? What is it? And in the episode, you'll hear me go, ooh, look over there. Look over there. There's a new guessing game over there. There's a new guessing game over there. You'll hear it in the episode. And what I was saying was, there's a lot of guessing games, but unless you know what's causing your brain fog, we're just guessing. And that's what we're doing. In fact, I said something else more than that about it. Pearl said, listen to your podcast on brain fog today, and you describe this condition so well. Pearl, are you going to listen to all my episodes so you can spread the information out there, share the information out there, and talk about the information out there so others can heal? And my job is to actually know what's going on with people and their symptoms. I was known since I was age 4 years old as the person that people with bizarre symptoms came to, because I understood them, because of the gift with spirit of compassion. So that's what I've always been known my whole life. That's why millions have healed with the medical medium information. And I want you to know that I do understand symptoms. I do understand. That's why it comes out like that. That's why medical medium information in the podcast is there for you, so you can hear these explanations and you can hear these differences of what's going on. It's so important for your healing. It really is. So Paula says, this pandemic has turned me into someone I don't know. My energy and drive is totally drained. I'm overthinking and stressing and extreme anxiety and worry since quarantine. Paula, have you tried the brain meditation, or have you tried the moon meditation, the Free as a Bird meditation? The Free as a Bird meditation would be a great one to try for that. Kate says, yes, brain fog is just terrible. It really is. It really is. So Barbara says, I love the Free as a Bird. You should do it every single day so you can heal. Share the information for others so they can heal. Anna says, which meditation is good for mental blocks for men? Brain meditation. Right there. Brain meditation. So have them do the brain meditation. Definitely, for sure. Valerie said, thank you, AW. Love your podcast and lives. Thank you for being here on this live. It means the world to me that you guys are here right now. And I really appreciate you guys being here. Really am. Michelle, lots of hearts there. Hearts back to you, too. And I'm really proud of you guys. You're working so hard on your healing process. So with brain fog, what happens is you can be like fogged out all morning. You can be fogged out in and out of the day. You can be fogged out at night. Or what usually happens with brain fog, you're fogged all day long. And then at the end of the day, at night, you're like coming back to life. And you're just springing back to life for a little bit, and you get clarity. And then you're up later at night with that clarity. And then you go to bed. And you wake up the next morning and you're fogged out again. That's one version right there. Another version is like when you're talking to other people, you kind of like with the words that are in your head don't come out the right way. They come out kind of wrong, or they come out disjointed, discombobulated. They just come out all kind of strange. And it happens to so many people, and I've seen people struggle like that. Or it's hard to listen to what the person's telling you because you're thinking about what you're thinking, and then you're kind of not listening to what they're saying, but you miss it. And that happens to so many people. Your brain fog's even hard on people. They get drained by being around other people. So if you're around maybe people that you're not really that comfortable with, or people that you're not in the mood to be around with, family and friends or something, and all of a sudden the brain fog worsens and you feel drained. There's so many different versions of brain fog, and it makes it so difficult. Kenzie says, wow, didn't realize my problem had a name. Hello from Brisbane, Australia. Yeah, that's what it that's what it has. It has a name. Rosanna said, thank you so much for the bird meditation. I have not slept so well for a while. Rosanna, I'm so glad you're doing the Free as a Bird meditation at Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. You guys check it out. Sharon says, thank you for making me laugh in the beginning of this episode for brain fog. Helps me keep a light heart. Yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh too, because I listen to the episodes as well. Alina says, the end of the podcast made me cry and made me feel so good, gave me real hope. I know I can heal. Thank you, Anthony. Those are special messages at the end of the podcast. At the end of the episodes, the brain fog episode, and the other episodes too, at the end of the episode, there's a message from Spirit of Compassion to help you move forward and to heal your heart and soul. Those messages are special. Ola says, thank you for your amazing, incredible podcast. Oh, I'm so glad you're listening to them. Brain fog is severe. Whoa. You got the severe brain fog, hard to work. Thankfully, celery juice and the heavy metal detox smoothie are amazing and very healing, getting so much better. Ola, I talk about that in the brain fog episode. So I talk about that, about the celery juice and heavy metal detox in the brain fog episode. So I'm so happy you're doing it. So proud of you. Incredible. Serene, you are a true godsend. Literally, no one else has any solutions for brain fog. I'm so glad that you listened to the podcast. So it's Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. The brain fog episode is episode 9. Knock, knock, who's there? Lynette, we ordered the Omega Juicer the other day. Can't wait to get it. My husband is always skeptical and is now a daily celery juice drinker. Incredible. Yeah, the Omega Juicer, it's the MM900 HDS. Just that's the one that really juices the way it needs to juice. Jennifer Fry, it felt too validating to hear you understand all the many different types of brain fog. I have felt it's so hard to describe to people, and you're right that they don't understand. One thing about brain fog is when someone doesn't have brain fog and they never experience it, they're going to do this. You're going to be like, what, are you tired? What do you have? Did you get drunk last night? Do you have a hangover? I don't understand. Did you stay up late and party? Why do you have brain fog? Are you working too hard? You just need to rest. You just need to take a day off, and that will get rid of your brain fog. It's like people don't realize when you have bad brain fog, it's a whole nother story. Loon L. Hey, Loon. Hello. I'll listen to the brain fog episode tonight. Thank you. I'm so glad. Are you catching up to the episodes? Thank you for releasing these episodes at this speed. I'm soaking up all the information. Thank you so much for what you do. Loon, thank you so much for what you do too, because I know you're out there and you're batting for Spirit of Compassion SOC, and you're out there, fighting for this information that comes from above. You're helping people with it. You're telling them about it. You're telling them about the podcast. Just know that it's appreciated more than you can possibly imagine. Okay, please know that. It's very, very it means more to me than you know, because I know that you care, you're helping others, you're sharing the information, and plus you're seasoned. What I've noticed about you, Loon, is that you're actually really seasoned. You've been around the block with alternative medicine. You've been around the block with conventional medicine. You actually, you know what's going on out there. So the link is in the description. It's the uncensored versions at Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcast. At Apple Podcast. That's the official platform that I launched the podcast at. So if you hear it at other platforms, the episodes, they're not, they're censored. They're censored. You have to see it at Apple or listen to it there. Nikki says, I am so tired and sleep and depressed and brain fog too. Oh, you know, it just breaks my heart that you guys are all dealing with brain fog. Ayana, is social anxiety linked to brain fog? There's definitely a link, because what happens is the anxiety and brain fog, they come together, and then social anxiety and brain fog, that's a whole thing too. Absolutely. I'm answering questions, you guys, up here if you want to ask some questions. And really, the brain fog episode opens the door to understand it like no other, so you know what's going on with everything and all of it. Loon says, brain fog to me feels like I am being dumbed down as if I was under heavy drug abuse. Not fun, and also it's hard to do anything. I get very clumsy and confused. So Loon, you dealt with the brain fog, you struggled with it, and that's just, it's really hard, you know. And that's the thing, if someone hasn't had brain fog and they never struggled with it on any level, and a lot of you guys might not even know you have brain fog until you hear the episode and you're like, what? Like, huh? I actually have some brain fog going on. What? So, and yeah, it's just when you hear the episode. Stacy Highland, I literally didn't know I had brain fog until I listened to this on day 6 of 369. Yeah, Stacy, see, like, I know, like a lot of everybody, a lot of people, they don't know they got the brain fog. So incredible. I'm so glad you're doing that and you're on day 6. Lisa said caffeine episode. I think she said so. I think the comment went up there too quick. Lisa Marie, caffeine episode. My husband quit the next day after I made him listen to the podcast. Lisa, what'd you think about the caffeine episode? Okay, what's my favorite episode out of all the 9 episodes so far? The caffeine episode is definitely one of my favorite. I don't know. I mean, the chemtrail episode is one of my favorites. The egg episode is one of my favorites. Now I'm like, what? Like, which one's my favorite now? I think the caffeine episode might be one of my favorites. They all are. They're all my favorites. I don't know what to say. They actually are. Christy says, wow, to the coffee podcast. It was eye-opening. Christy, wasn't that mind-blowing? Right? The coffee podcast, coffee, matcha tea, chocolate podcast. If anybody hasn't listened to it yet, Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts, listen to that one. You guys, I hate asking this, but leave a review. If you feel up to it, please. If you can leave a review at Apple Podcasts, it really helps. It helps share the message. It helps so people can see it and then hear the information and heal their brain fog and heal all the other different symptoms and conditions I'm going to be doing podcasts on. Michelle Miller. Hey, Michelle. You're amazing, Anthony. There's real hope for healing. I'm living proof. Michelle, you're awesome. Proud of you. Truly, truly, truly proud of you. And I really am. And so you guys, you know, one thing about brain fog is interesting is that it's not even considered anything. Like medical research and science, the industries don't even think it's anything. And even alternative medicine has a hard time with it, because when alternative medicine, they kind of see it as brain fog. Are you really dealing with brain fog, or is it something else? We're always underestimated. We're always misunderstood with brain fog. And then we don't even know to call it brain fog. We're just like, I don't feel well, or maybe this is who I am, where I'm bumping into walls, and not even bumping the walls. I can't get anything done. I know you guys want to be like, have the clarity, be on your game, your intuition being solid and strong, being like all that, feeling like you're all there. And it's really kind of hard for so many people, you know, it really is. Aisling, hey Aisling, I had brain fog for years, and now I could finally understand what was going on. I'm new on my healing journey. I've done original and advanced 369 recently. That's those right there. The advanced 369 cleanse is in the Cleanse to Heal book behind me. That's an amazing medical textbook for people. I'm new on my healing. Yep, 369. Recently drinking heavy metal detox smoothie every day. Aisling, that's incredible. I have psoriasis, joint pain, and brain fog. Thanks to your inspiration. I'm so proud of you. You need to know that. Don't stop taking care of yourself. Keep on taking care of yourself. Please, please, please. So important to you guys. Subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to the Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts so you get notified when the episodes come out. How cool is that? And if you don't have an Apple device, fine. Go to medicalmedium.com. Go to the menu. You'll see podcast on the menu. And you can listen to it there. So back to brain fog. Just talk a little bit about that for a little bit more because so many of you suffer from it and struggle from it. When it's really bad and you feel like you can't get work done, you feel like you can't get a task done, you feel like you can't get any jobs done, you feel like you can't, the day slips by us, so difficult. Zeno Mar says, where do I find the podcast on brain fog? Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. The Brain Fog episode, it's episode 9. Listen to all the episodes. There's meditations in there that are really powerful where I guide you through them to heal. And on top of that, there's the episodes that are really, really powerful episodes. And make sure you subscribe too, and so you get a notification. So important. And reviews, you guys, reviews are important. So Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. If you can leave a review, if you really want me to keep on doing this, it helps because then then I see it too, and I'm like, okay, someone does like the podcast. I'm gonna just keep on doing this. I'll stay up all night trying to get another one done. I'll work all day. I want them to have the information, and they actually want the information. No, it's amazing. You'll continue to share. Adele says, I will continue to share. I love to see my clients heal. Adele, thank you for sharing. This is a grassroots movement. Medical Medium information has always been grassroots because it's about people healing and then the message being shared, okay? And that's how it's always been all these years. There's no PR marketing, no scam marketing, all that stuff that's happened with, all the other businesses in this industry and all that do all this stuff. But which is fine. But the point is, if that's what you want to do, a lot of it's good intentional, a lot of it's just kind of scammy. But what happens in the end, that this has been a grassroots movement because people heal, because it works. It's so important. Now, Catherine Elizabeth says, hi, Anthony, another great episode. I laughed in the beginning of the brain fog episode, but cried when you spoke about the boat. I got to tell you, when I spoke about the boat at the beginning of the brain fog episode, I felt it. But what happened was when I re-listened to it after I recorded that episode, when I listened to it, I actually cried. It got me choked up right in the middle of it. It really did. So anyway, you laughed at the beginning of the brain fog episode, but cried when you spoke about the boat. The meditations are so powerful. The brain meditation, moon meditation, freeze a bird meditation. Guys, check those out. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Share the podcast with anyone and everyone so people can heal. Ivory says, can you please suggest something that will help severe neurological brain fog due to Lyme disease infection? It's like being in your own prison. Okay, so Irie, what I would do is listen to the episode too. The brain fog episode has lots of information of why we have brain fog, and I talk about this. So Lori, what I talk about, Lori, is that when you have Lyme, or you have RA, or you have fibromyalgia, or you have Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, or you have any of this stuff, Lori, what happens is that the brain fog is part of it all. And then when you listen to the brain fog episode at Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts, when you listen to it, you find out, wait a minute. So this has something to do with my Lyme disease. Like, wait. And you all of a sudden you can put it together when you hear the episode and you hear what causes brain fog. Then you can kind of find out what's causing your Lyme disease. And then you can find out what's causing other problems. And that's so Lori, check that out. See, Terry says, I have so many friends that need this so hard. I keep plucking away with putting the info out. Thank you for doing that, Terry. Incredible. It really is. Deborah says, hello, that's me. And that's me. Is there anything I can do? Did you check out the podcast, Brain Fog episode? Make sure you check it out. Lauren says, I have been dealing with vertigo for the last month. I decided to have some celery juice today. I started listening to you recently. which book would help me the most in recovering this Epstein-Barr virus, since I'm assured that's what's going on with me. Different doctors, different diagnoses. Well, that book right there, Cleanse to Heal, you can get it free at the library. Okay, you can try that. If you don't want to pay for it, try to get it free at the library. You also can get it in the U.S. At Amazon.com, $16.99, 51% off, which is amazing. It's a heavy medical textbook. It's packed with information to heal. People around the world are reversing their conditions with this right here, this book behind me. Paula, where can I find the meditations? Yay, the meditations. They're my favorite. They're one of my favorites. Meditations, Medical Meaning Podcast at Apple Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, okay? And the link is in the description, and you'll see there's 9 episodes. 3 of them are meditations. How cool is that? So can a possible UTI give brain fog? Well, UTI, that's urinary tract infection, which is bacterial infection, well, which is a pathogen. I talk about the brain fog episode, and I talk about pathogens. See how I'm linking it all together? You got to hear the episode. The information's there. So yeah, you guys, I'm excited. I hope you check it out. Hope I answered a few questions or helped out a little bit with this, because I know you guys are struggling with your brain fog. Share, leave a review if you can at Apple Podcast, Medical Media Podcast at Apple Podcast. Please share. It's so important to help others out there find the information so they can heal. So, got the chemtrail episode, the fruit fear episode, the egg episode, the air fresheners episode. You got now the brain fog episode, the caffeine episode. You got the 3 meditations. We're at episode number 9 today. Catherine Elizabeth says, I cry at the end of the episodes also. I get choked up at the end of every one of those episodes. I get choked up at the end of every one of them. Lori says, I feel almost in tears listening to you describe brain fog. It's the first time I've heard anyone describe in such a compassionate and honest way of what they're going through. Lori, I love the fact that you're listening. I'm so happy you're hearing about the information and what people are going through. Like, because you're going through it, you understand. And just know that I understand too, that I do understand. And that's what it's about. It's making sure that we know what's going on. Fern says, thanks for doing this at Facebook Live. It's a blessing to know that I'm not alone, when I'm not alone. Fern, thank you for being on this Facebook Live. I'm honored you're here. I hope you are on the next one. Have your notifications on so you guys can catch me when I'm doing these lives, because I never know when I'm going to do them. Tony says, I had brain fog in the past. I had thyroid and anxiety. Wow. Changed my life after reading Thyroid Healing. So Thyroid Healing has healed millions of people around the world right now. Now I can recognize when I start to get anxiety and readjust and meditate. Thank you. Check out the meditations, Tony. Check out check that out. So the link, there's a book for that. There's a link for that book in the description. Anyway, I'm so proud of you guys. I really am. And I appreciate you guys being here. Look out for any other notifications that come through. Have you signed up to my email list? So at medicalmedium.com. Sign up to the email list too. So because I also do the emails, I put the emails out once in a while to say, hey, the next episode's coming, or check out this recipe, or so if you can, you guys sign up to the Medical Medium newsletter. Go to medicalmedium.com to get signed up to the newsletter. And so you guys get like the articles, the free information, because it's all about free information, Medical Medium. Fern says, I can't wait to listen to this episode. Fern, you're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. You're so great, and I'm honored you're going to listen to it. I actually can't wait for you to listen to it. B. Isabelli says, I have always healed my brain fog because you, Anthony William, and Spirit. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Just truly proud of you. Really, I'm. Trisha's here today. Trisha's here too today. So glad. Just saying hi. I saw your comment go up. And so anyway, guys, I am going to let you guys go. Just know that I care and I stand with you, and I know you guys are struggling with your symptoms and conditions. Brain fog is really brutal. Check out the episode. You know where to find it. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. That's the uncensored place for it. And I love you guys. Take care.